Hello everyone, I'm Everlast, former rank 1 Vi and someone who tries incredibly hard to reach Challenger but haven't quite yet. So today we're gonna take a look at someone who does every single season. He's known to be the First Blood King, a meme factory, the one who always stays calm. The best jungler EU has ever produced. It is of course Jankos. So he has actually had an incredible win rate on Vi in solo queue the last couple of splits. This is against the best players. This is not some Smurf account where you get a 90% win rate when you play against players 3-4 ranks below you and then it kind of evens out over time. This is a really big win rate against the best players on the server, and we're gonna try to figure out what he does, why it's so effective on Vi, because he does nothing flashy. There's no Chinese combos in this one, but he's using Vi very effectively and jungling really well, and we're going to try to break it down so we can incorporate some of the same things into our own game and hopefully get the rank up we always wanted. So let's dive right in. So in this game he seems to be running the very standard Vi runes with Conqueror and Inspiration. It's very normal, nothing special, it's super reliable, and that's probably why it takes it. So let's just dive right in, see what it does. It started with the Gust Walker. I really like it because he can pick a lot of the enemy team, and he actually went a pot which I normally don't, but let's see if it comes in handy.
Away from home 1? Is that some... Are you looking forward to Black Cleaver buffs to make Vi good again? I feel like the Black Cleaver buffs don't matter on Vi.
I agree.
And I even think the Q buff is not that big, but it's a little bit not bad, but it's not that big. I don't even know I'm playing Vi. I just felt like I have Katarina in my team, so I decided, okay, I'm just gonna play something that synergizes with Kat so I can go in. And I ended up with Vi, but I could have just picked Hecarim or something.
Yeah, I agree. The upcoming changes is gonna be very negligible. The Black Cleaver buff doesn't change anything. We might be able to give a double proc on E because sometimes it acts as both a spell and an auto attack. And Eclipse is actually probably going to be able to proc Black Cleaver stack in itself with the new changes, but we're going to have to see and test it out when it comes.
I have some CC, right?
Looks like it's starting blue.
The old Urgot was kind of fun, where if you land the EQ, you would just completely one-shot people.
Sure. So, starting blue, I like it. Ken likes to be strong side. Jin Alistar probably want to chill in the bot lane. They got Misfortune and Rel, who is stronger. So if it's a 3v3, they're probably gonna lose it.
Hello boss, clearly don't remember, but in 11th of January this year, I asked you to create a link tree so we stop the Streamlabs spam in the chat. Since it's been 8 months without an answer, I decided to create it then. Just check to see if everything is good or you want something more or whatever, then I will change everything for the stream. Based Mia, thank you. Yeah, I forgot. I was so busy with the season. I mean, Heretics was doing so well, I had to focus on the game. Actually, I did have to focus on the game, maybe not
Makes
because
sense.
we were doing well.
So, it's not doing the most effective clear. I think we could have sped that up if you watched my guide. Actually, but so skipping to dive.
This looks like a good dive, but my champ is so not up for it. I mean, please don't use your potion, Trundle. Please don't use your potion. Oh my god, the fucking
It's a free
fake.
dive.
Okay, now he's for sure gonna use his potion.
Just hold Q. Nice.
Oh, he got weighted. Imagine now it's 4 seconds more. It's not now, it's still, he's still dead for 4 seconds, he can TP. Imagine how hard of a punish that is.
If he connects that Q.
Not bad.
Yeah, I would follow through on this as well. Playing really aggressive, using the fact that they dove top lane.
Okay, I think he for sure knows.
A lot of options here. Probably wants to heal a bit on this so we can go back for the invade. Mid died. So he's actually going to back off here, which I think makes sense because even though Katarina killed mid, it's easy to think that you're going to have prio and you can go and invade. But it turns out the enemy team is going to recall, the enemy mid laner is going to recall back. He's going to be on full HP with items, and Katarina's very low from the fight, and she needs to recall ASAP. And going for this invade now would be a very 50-50. Maybe you kill her, but probably you don't. And if you don't, and even if you do, you probably get killed on the way out by the mid laner and the top laner. So you don't have super prio in the top lane, and you definitely don't have prio in mid lane, even though you got the kill. So you got to be careful of those early TPs back to lane after your laners get a kill, because they can really take you by surprise. So he's just going to play it safe, go back into his jungle, and farm up and wait for a better opportunity.
They are nerfing day talents in the patch. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I was talking like hypothetically, if the dead timers would already be this patch, then Shyvana would not be having fun after that, or Trundle, I mean, would be not having fun after that dive. But now you just, I mean, at least you would lose the cannon, right? Or at least you would lose 2 minions. Now you die early and you don't really care.
True. Early dives and kills is going to be way more effective next patch. That's actually something to think about, because now they're going to probably lose the whole wave.
It seems like he is quite safe.
Instead of just being able to TP and the cannon's going to tank the whole wave by with the turret. So that's actually a big difference next patch, just in a couple of days. We'll probably recall here. Yep. Nothing special so far. Great dive. He just reacting. I think pathing towards cannon is very smart. It's arranged against the melee top laners, so you can really bully him, have prio, so you can play around that.
And so unplayable. Unless you can really hard all in.
Yep, exactly.
I think I played this as a Trundle top before, and I won. But I think I just like the... Maybe I got a jungle young or something. And I just remember that if you all in with Merrick, you probably win, but Merrick's got nerfed since then, and also he got dived early. So he's more behind than he should be.
Okay. Shyvana's greedy for the Drake. So he actually takes Wolves on the way out there, even though you would think it makes sense to go to your Grump, because you want to have your camps in order, right? Because he did Raptors into Krug, so if you recall and do your Grump Wolves, you're gonna have them in order when you're pathing. But the reason he goes for Wolves first here, because he wants to transition into the Drake and play the Drake and Scuttle, because he's stronger, he has prio in the lanes, he wants to deny the dragon from Shyvana. That's very important, and Vi is very good at taking those. So you're using the opportunity to transition and using that position, because when he takes the Wolves, he's going to be closer to his Grump, so if the play doesn't work out, he can just fall back to his Grump, go back. So he's kind of transitioning the right direction, so wherever you want to go, you take the camps on the way to get there, and then you can fall back to your camps later. That's very efficient jungling.
Oh, you see, it's barely, and he had ult. Maybe he tanked tower shots? Wait, he's dead? Don't tell me he's dead. Don't tell me he's dead!
Oof. Not wasting any time here, he goes straight to Grubs because he's ahead and winning the matchup. This might be a bit scary, but Trundle has no cooldowns. So you can probably stall this until Cannon comes and then they win.
Asking me why am I maxing Q on a buy?
Yeah, you gotta max Q on buy. I like this. See, he's just playing it very slow because his Ken is coming and his Trundle can't fight because he has no ult and he needs to recall. So this is very good jungling. Getting both objectives here, just using the prio on the timer is better than Shyvana.
Actually kinda... He lost minions through moving. Oh! Go away, troll.
you have to be careful not to get cancelled by Terminal E. That's very important. You could have maybe cancelled them there if it's too slow.
No.
This is one of the most annoying things as a jungler. Mid laners just invading you. So good at playing patient, much better than me. That's something I really got to learn from.
That was so weird. How did she found me there? What?
Gonna pick up Krugs, get level 6 and probably recall here and play into his spot side.
All around from Tribal or something.
Unless there's action in top lane.
I mean, I do have ult, right?
You do have ult. Tron has no ult, but
Oh,
I think
yes,
this
he's
is a
gonna
free
do it.
kill. Tron actually did have ult, but it doesn't matter.
Trundle player. And he flashed.
Actually true.
See champion, kill champion.
It's so aware of what can happen, what the enemy team can do and can't do, and just punishing where they overstep and always looking at the options. He hasn't made up his mind in many of his plays. He goes to he transitions into Drake, but he doesn't know if it's gonna work or not. It works. He takes the Drake. He goes to Grubs. You gotta wait for his team to get prio. He's just playing it slow. He's very good at playing patient and playing the positioning of all the champions, both your team and the enemy team. So, starting Wolves, tries to set transition somewhere. His camps are not going to spawn topside yet anyways. See? He's transitioning and he's always ready for a play.
Oh shit, we might not be winning. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, you can ult here. Yep.
Oh, I'm so cooked, am I not?
No. Just flash out.
Okay, I think this is for sure Worf.
Yep.
Whoa!
Again, like, we gotta run it back. Like, he's so good at playing the positioning. You see, he's transitioning. This is why he starts Wolves. He wants to do Wolves. If there's a play, he can move. If it's not a play yet, he does his Grump or his Blue, and then he can always move to bot lane still. So he has a long timing where he is close and he can always capitalize if there's an opportunity, if the enemy needs to push a wave, if there's a chance. And here it turns out that there's a chance.
Winning this though?
He's still playing slow. He's not like full committing for Jhin there when he no, it's not Jhin, but the enemy ADC, even though it's easy to think you just Q over the wall, try to kill him there, he's actually going to be dead. So he's just playing it slow when he doesn't have all the information, because the enemy also is missing, as you can see on the minimap. So it's such good jungling, it's such good awareness.
Not be winning. I mean, honestly.
So he's playing it slow, waiting for the Katarina to come, then he ults.
Oh, I'm so cooked, am I not?
Playing it really well.
I think this is for sure Worf.
Yeah. And his team cleans it up, even though it dies, it's super worth. Super worth.
The engage!
The engage.
Buy into the cat triple, double, into the Jhin double, into enemy team FFs.
True. True.
Bug. Worf, bug.
Here I would have liked them to do blue Grump Wolves over to Raptors, because his bot lane is recalling anyways. You don't have a Thrash, you don't have your ultimate, there's no Drake spawning, just to have those in order, because now we can. There's nothing to transition to. This is just a little bit less efficient, I would say, unless he tries to invade here. Unless he wants to go for the bot camp.
That's kind of huge, not gonna lie, they used all Sams too.
Regardless, but I doubt it, because you have no ultimate and no flash, so it's usually quite hard to get those.
This is a game where
Okay, so it's just
we have
recalling.
1 Drake, 3 Void grabs. No shit. Nice. I mean, he's dead.
Let's see, maybe there's a reason he did it in that order.
Nice though. So we can choose between having 2 Drakes and less Void Grabs, and I think Void Grabs in this game are probably a bit better. Actually, I don't think we are gonna split push much, but I think they will, so I think denying them is good. She should hopefully be winning now. Go away.
Yeah, it's very nice when it takes scuttle like this to just queue through it so you can take it away from the enemy jungler. So the reason I guess he did Wolf's Blue Grump in that order is just the effectiveness. He wanted to back and get this first item, which is going to be Sunder Sky. I'm not the biggest fan of Sunder Sky, but it's fine when you're playing more supportive and only engage. I actually like it. You can also do Black Cleaver or Triforce first and do a lot of the same things. But yeah, so I don't hate it, but there are other options as well. So he did Wolf's Blue Grump for deficiency, I guess, and also since he wanted to prioritize his scrubs, I guess it makes sense because then you're going to go back into your top side and then you're going to path top to bot, and then that way it's going to be in order. You just swap the rotation, so that actually makes sense. That's a very nice trick, so you can swap which way you path depending on the game, where you want your strong side to be. If you want to play around your bot top initially, you want to swap it around and try to play for your bot instead because they're winning maybe. This kind of thing, your top lane is just having a bad game.
LCK and suddenly everyone plays Shyvana with that build. And I don't even think this build is that OP. But maybe it's better than Nashor. I don't know. I had pretty bad results with it either way.
Taking out those, the one mid fight is stronger, so he's just using the advantage that he is creating for his team here to just pick up the objectives, not waste any time. It's not taking his Krugs, then his Red, then his Raptors, and then he's going into Grubs, and then maybe enemy during is able to just sneak it up. He's just wasting no time, using the priors, and the time is very correctly when he doesn't have it his weights.
We can dive him. I could also try to dive mid.
Yeah, I don't like to top dive because you're gonna be far from Drake. And you're giving them an opportunity to get it when you don't have to give it at all. I don't think this is worth.
Wow. That was
clean dive.
Straight up
I guess the enemy team actually started Drake before, so that's gone anyways. And that way it's good to... That way they got Grubs, and they also got the top dive, which makes it worth. And he gets the invade. This is what high elo does, jungling does better than the rest. Usually, when they know the enemy player can make a play.
Okay, sure. Enemy's making some plays too.
Yeah, exactly. The enemy team is making some plays too. So even though Jankos has an advantage here, he can dictate the game. He wanted to play for the Grubs instead of the second Drake, which I think makes sense. You can really accelerate the game when you're ahead. Grubs is very useful. And as I said, the enemy team wants to split push, so you want to deny those. Although I prefer 2 Drakes over 6 Grubs in some games. It's a bit different. It depends on the champions that is in the game, how far you're ahead of you are, and so on. So, about the jungling. So, high low, they're very good at punishing and also making counterplays. So, he's dictating in going Grubs. Shyvana instantly wants to play for the Drake when he's using his time topside, so she doesn't get stuck. She doesn't just clear her camps, and that way Jankos gonna play Grubs, and then he gonna just went straight for the Drake. So by her making a counterplay, because she does what she can, she has to react to Jankos. Jankos is the one dictating the game because he's ahead. He's gotten his whole team ahead, so they can decide what happens on the map. But she's very good at making counterplays here, and this is something you can do in your own games to make comebacks in your own games. This is a way to not lose everything and kind of kill the snowballing from the enemy team. So you get some counter punches and maybe you can crawl your way back into the game. And he's very aware of this. So when he goes for the grubs, he knows that Shyvana is doing the dragon already. That way he also go for the top dive. He's not wasting time trying to go bot and try to save the Drake. He knows it's gone already. He goes for the top side, then he goes for the invade to kind of get even more out of the play. So this is the way they're just like one-upping each other and really playing high-elo jungling here. This looks very promising though. Yup. Triple kill? Just big. Clean. He's even saving his ultimate there.
Cleanup crew is here!
Oh. So at the end of this video, I'm going to break down some of what it does and kind of summarize what it does so you can actually put that into actionable advice and make use for yourself so that you actually can make changes and deliberate practice in your own games. Because if not, it's very easy to just like try and play better, try to copy it when you don't have all the facts. You need something specific that you can work towards, or else it's kind of just like falling apart. Your team dies level 1 and it's kind of whole thing is out the window. You're thinking about completely other stuff. You need something specific to focus on. That's where you're really going to improve. So let's just continue with the video.
No counterplay.
No counterplay, indeed. Yasuo extending, punishing.
You love to see it.
Really good.
Enemy team just running it down, disrespecting the jungler.
True. That is very nice. Here again, like, he's so efficient and not giving the enemy team any chances to come back into the game. He's not here wasting time. You could think there's a good chance to invade this bot side here. He killed Yasuo. He has prior bot and like in the mid lane. He can go for invade with his ultimate, but he's not wasting time. He's focused on what's important, and that is the objectives and really choking the enemy team. So it's just like taking the Raptors, transitioning straight over to the Herald, not wasting time. It's beautiful to see. He knows what's
she's so that. Oh, she's so that.
most important here. And he's just always at the right place at the right time.
They are getting cooked, huh?
Yep, indeed. Jungle gap. It's not a coincidence he's able to be there at the right timings when it goes down. I didn't cherry pick this game. I just took the last buy game he played, tried to see what it does, because I know he's doing so well in solo queue in this pick, and I need to figure out how.
I could use Herald here, and we could just play it here too. But I feel like if we use Herald mid and get 2 towers, then we can snowball the game faster by killing them deeper. And the deeper we can go, the easier the game is gonna be with our comp.
No comment.
I think. Also, we might just get this tower actually, us two. This is a tier 2 tower, I think it's pretty worth.
Tier 2 is very nice. So much gold. Such a jungle gap in this one. You could say it's like winning lanes, but he actually won his lanes and he used the prior perfectly to not like give the enemy team any chance. Especially when the enemy team comp has this scaling comp like they do. With the also with the Shyvana, with the Trundle.
It's time to get mid tower.
I agree. Just super dead. It looks so easy when he plays, doesn't it? To win.
I'm gonna show my diving skills here.
My games are a whole mess, and
wait for it.
you can blame your team for it, Of course, this is high reload, so it makes sense that it's cleaner, but at the same time, what the?
The drift!
That was actually super clean. Oh god damn.
Not my what?
Outplayed.
I love shitting on AD carry roll. It brings me so much joy because most of the time it's the other way around.
That is why I play Vi. That is the main reason. If you want to shit on ADC roll, play Vi. Just a clean game like this at 17 minutes, incredible. Always go for the extra kills, naturally. Maybe in the Diamond Fountain, that's very important. Went Black Cleaver second,
Yes.
great item.
That dive top was really good. It was good called by Cannon. He was pinging quite early, and we dived top lane early, and then we also made the enemy jungle life hard.
Yep,
And then they couldn't play the game.
yep. So much of it snowballed from those early game decisions. Whether you get ahead or behind in the jungle, it allows you to dictate the game. He goes for a beautiful dive there. Ken did help me out with pinging for the dive, but you just gotta constantly be looking for those plays in the early game. And it turns out he can get the kill, and then you could bully Shyvana a little bit, push him out, get these small leads, and it just ramps up over time and just gets more and more. And then that way he can take the Drake, he can play the grubs. He just gotta be very deliberate about and precise with the timings and positioning. So I tried to pick it apart and break down the major things that I really think we can try to copy and incorporate in our own games that we all can improve on. And the first thing is evaluate lanes. Where do you want to path? Where do you want to end up? Who do you want to strong side? So in this game, he has a Ken against a Trundle, which he can really bully, and he really knows it. So he's pathing towards that lane because Jin Alistar against Misfortune Rel is kind of at a disadvantage. They're not stronger than Rel and Misfortune in the early game, so that way it's not strong siding them quite yet, because if there ends up being a 3v3 a fight, there's most likely not going to be more opportunity for the enemy team to play around bot lane than the other way around. So he's pathing towards the Ken to try bully, and it turns out that wins them the game, or at least like gives them a major advantage. And he also wants to invade, and using that prio of Ken, I think it was not the smartest choice by Shyvana to actually path towards top, because Ken is most likely going to have the prio, so they can try to bully an invader on that third camp actually. But anyways, so he's using that very well. He sees that Ken is able to create a lead and good trades, so Trundle is low, so he goes immediately for the dive and really is efficient. If it wasn't an opportunity there, he still could have taken Raptors. Maybe it was the chance after Raptors to go for the dive. If it wasn't, then you take the red. Maybe there's another opportunity, so you're close to proximity where you think you have the best chances of getting a successful gank. That's very important. Which lanes is winning, which can bully, which has setup, which has damage. That's really what you need to think about in your own games. And also, when he is good at being in close proximity, he's really aggressive there. He immediately goes for the dive. He's not afraid to pull it off. He's not afraid to go for the gank or skip the camp or even go off the camp is already taking to create that action when he sees an opportunity. Always looking at the minimap. None of us do it enough. We can all improve on looking at the minimap, looking at states. But make sure you bind your F keys and use those actively to look at your lane states. I'm using Z, X, and C to look at the different lanes, because then I have my camera all linked to my thumb, which I'm not using. So I have a space bar to look at myself, and then I have the other ones to look at the different lanes. That's very important as a jungler, which I think is really gonna help you out. One thing that also really changed the outcome of this game, which I think I would have made a mistake myself here, is that his awareness of the lane states. So does he have prio, does he not? He's very good at waiting for his team to really get into position. He's not forcing it and just like seeing, does my team follow up or not? He's really looking at the prio, being very careful, looking at the minimap even when he's fighting to kind of see when he can go in, when can he pull the trigger. You saw it on the bot river, the river fight in top lane around Grubs, where he waits for the cannon. He kind of just holding his Q, playing really slow, and then when cannon arrives, then he commits and goes for the Grubs. He's not afraid to go off it. He's trying and seeing how the enemy responds, and he also backs off. He's not like fully committing to it. He's really just playing the positioning of each team, which is beautiful to see. And we also saw it very clearly on the invade. He did level 3 to try to bully Shyvana off the blue buff and maybe even steal it away, but his Katarina got a kill in mid lane where they both were super low, and then Katarina ended up being low, and he knows that Yasuo is going to recall and no TP back into lane and then be full HP with items, and he can easily be collapsed on if he goes for that invade. So he ends up backing out, even though it ideally would have been great to invade Shyvana in the early game because she's very weak and we don't want her to scale. He doesn't go for it. He doesn't take the 50-50, which was super smart. He just goes back to his camps, make sure he recalls, and then goes for another play and plays the dragon. Setting me up perfectly for, he's not flipping any of these plays. He's playing it super careful, very slow, methodical. It's really nice. My games are complete chaos. I know this is a higher elo game, which makes your lanes also is less chaotic and they know more what to do, but he's really the one dictating what is happening in this game. If you go crazy into river and you go for the grubs and you commit, it's going to be a complete chaos. You fight, you die, your team dies, it's a whole mess. He's actually like dictating what is happening. He's the one controlling the pace of the game, what is and that's a major part of being a jungler, trying to dictate the pace and what you do as a team. You also saw it very clearly in the bot river fight where he's not committing, like going crazy and diving after the misfortune there when she flashes over the wall. He's just playing really careful, going over for a bit of a chunk on the rel. He's not going crazy, and because he didn't have information on Yasuo, maybe Yasuo is there, maybe he isn't. But when he doesn't know, then he doesn't go for it. It's not flipping it. So it turns out Yasuo was there. So if he committed over the wall, he would have just died, and then his team would have played the 3v2 after and probably would have been cleaned up. So that's how you dictate the game. He's playing slow, he's playing methodical. He waits for his Katarina to move over, and then he commits in with the ultimate, and it turns out they clean up the whole thing. So that's kind of a make or break. That could have easily lost him the game if he just went crazy with the Q over the wall, which I probably would have done there. So that's one thing that's holding me back, and if I change that, maybe that way I can get into challenger as well. Another thing I noticed is very good at using the camps to transition and being very efficient. You saw when he did recalled in, he did the wolves because he wanted to play around bot lane. He wants to play around dragon, so he did the wolves first, so it's closer proximity. Then if he sees an opportunity, then he can just move instantly, fall back to his blue and his grump later. If it isn't, then he can just take the blue, then it's also still very close. Or if he still waits a little bit because he wants to look for a different timing, then he can do the grump and then he can move down into river and play the Scuttle, play the Drake. He's very good at using those transitions. When he's also played the Herald later, he's just doing the Raptors. He's not falling back to his grump, then going all the way. He's very efficient. He knows that Herald is spawning. He's just taking the closest camp, transitioning over. It's so nice, it's so efficient. He knows what is important and he's not wasting any time. Also, when you're doing these transition camps and trying to take the camps that is close to where you want to be, that also means you can get off the camp if something breaks out, there is the fight, something is happening, then you can just easily join in on the fight and turn around. That's very important. So don't be afraid to get off your camp. You can always fall back to him later. You might win the game if you do. And then lastly, he was, as I talked about, so efficient with the objectives. He knows what is important in the game. He's not wasting any time. He's not going for needless invades. He's not trying to kill the Shyvana 20 times. There's no need for it. He takes the dragon when he wants to take the dragon. He moves over to the grubs, then he waits for his team, then he falls back, takes the grubs, picks it up. He knows what's really important. Later also, he dictates. He wants to take the grub because he wants to close out the game. He knows his team is ahead and can really push really fast, which worked out great because they ended at 70 minutes. That's also a big part of this. And he's just so good at being not wasting any time, not making stupid plays. He knows how to close out the game, and that's the reason it ends at 70 minutes and not 30-minute flip at Soul or a Baron or an Elder. It leaves so much more room for mistakes from both yourself and your team by not being efficient, not closing it out quickly enough. And this is absolutely great. I'm going to try to do this myself. If you like this style of video, please let me know. Please consider subscribing, then I'll know that you like it and want more of it. So I'll see you in the next one. Have a great one. Bye.